All right, we'll start. How's it going? Cool. So tonight, because this video is all about becoming your alter ego, so I thought I'd wear a mask just to make this blatantly obvious. And so the whole point to this is basically, who do you need to become to be your best self in any given situation? And it's quite cool that like you got your baby here, Levi, because at some point you go into super mum mode, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you're not being a mum, you probably go into, you know, like Levi the fighter, you know, and
Yeah.
then you got all these different personalities and different traits, you know, of different people that want to show up. And so tonight I was like, I'll wear a mask and I'll be a bit of a dick just to make it a bit more fun, and just go into a completely different persona. But it's getting bloody hot, so I'm just going to wear this on my head. But yeah, so tonight we're just going to have. I read this really good book, and I've also dived into a bit about this for quite a while now, and it's about really becoming who you need to become to be the person you want to be. And so a really good way of looking at this, there's two different ways, and like who we are right now is the sum of all the habits, all the routines, and everything that we've done in our life up until this point is that person we've become now. So to become someone we want to be, we have to forget who we are and we have to become someone else. Which is quite a complex way of looking at it, but when you really dive into it, it really makes sense. The way it really stood out to me was, if I think about myself when I was 20, I don't even recognize myself, you know. So I've completely forgotten that person, and now I'm a completely different person now to who I was then. And so, like, in a sense, we're always forgetting who we are to become who we want to be. And so tonight is all about figuring out how you can become that person, and really getting identity and clear on the identity of the person you want to be, and coming up with the traits of that person and how to become that person. And it's like, so a good example of this is like Superman. He actually became Clark Kent just so he could fit in with the world, you know, like he wasn't Clark Kent. Clark Kent didn't become Superman. Superman became Clark Kent so that he could fit into a different role. So like his normal identity was like some crazy superhero, super powerful, like all of this confidence, but he had to become this person who, you know, was a little bit shy, a little bit awkward, a little bit nerdy, just so that he could fit in and fly under the radar so that no one would figure out he's Superman. And I thought I'd actually share this little video. So this is actually Beyonce. So this one's quite cool. So let me know if you can hear it. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Sasha Fierce, when does she show up? Usually when I hear the crowd, when I put on my stilettos, when like the moment right before when you're nervous and that other thing kind of takes over for you. Then Sasha Fierce appears, and my posture and the way I speak and everything is different. But no, this is like a process that happens too. Like you were talking about the high heels, like once the lashes go on and I think of all that stuff. It's kind of like when I do a movie, once you put on the wig and once you put on the clothes, you walk different. Yeah, it's kind of this character that I've created over the years. And how is Sasha Fierce different than I am? Well, I know, you know, definitely wearing that bodysuit. I could never walk out here and do that. Does Sasha Fierce ever go home? Like, sometimes, but only special occasions. Shows up sometimes at the house. Yeah. But definitely when I'm nervous or whenever I have to perform, whenever I have to do choreography or something that's difficult, and it's no different from anyone else. I feel like we all kind of have that thing that takes over. So, hi YouTubers.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah, sweet. So, like that's Beyonce, and like we know her as this like super confident, super crazy, super cool chick, but she still has to go into this other character to actually, you know, have that as her identity that everyone knows her as. And for her, it's like once she puts on those stilettos, once she puts on her seat, gets her makeup done, she's like, boom, this is who I am. And like before that though, she's nervous. She doesn't have that same confidence. So she has to go and put on this superhero outfit and become that person that she needs to be to perform at her best. And so this whole thing is about figuring out who that person is for you. And I guess, Carolyn, it could be like, you know, you could go into become the superhero, you know, or like, you know,
not superhero, but it's a bit like that when you put on your work clothes, you start walking differently and you talk differently to the farmers than if you wear normal clothing.
100%, yeah. It's like, yeah, like if I'm around heaps of Kiwis, I become super Kiwi. But it's like, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, sweet. So we're just going to go through the identity worksheet. You do have this in your Google Drive. If it's not there, I'll quickly shoot it over to you. But basically, I want you girls to sort of go through this. So we'll just go through it and we'll talk it through. And then basically what I want you to do by the end of it is we'll go through a couple of exercises about who your alter ego is and then sort of how to become it. So what I want you to think about is think of a situation, you know, it might be recently, it might be work, it might be family, it might be at the gym, it might be at sports or something like that. Think of a situation where you're like, you know that it's a little bit challenging and you know that a different part of you has to show up. Cool. So what I want you to do is think about that person that shows up and give them a bit of a name. So it could be that, you know, it's I don't know, Leader Levi or something like that. You know, you just need to give it a certain name. Like for Beyonce, it's Sasha Fierce, you know, so her alter ego is that Sasha Fierce character. And think of the character in your head and give it a bit of a name. Cool. And have a bit of fun with it. So think of something that is this alter ego person or this character that you're going to make up, and think of the situation that you're going to jump into.
I've been thinking for months now because I actually still haven't figured out what I want my fight name to be.
Your what, sorry?
Fight name. Everyone's got one except me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what I want it to be.
Yeah, that's a real cool one. Okay, so maybe we'll come back to this. So maybe think of the traits of that person that you have to be. But we'll come back to that and we might be able to give it a name at the end.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, keep it. Yeah, and Carolyn, what do you got?
Well, I sort of got this alter ego when I have to do like speeches or when I'm teaching.
Yeah.
I'm totally different.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know a cool name for it, but yeah.
We'll go quick fire. I'm just gonna like chuck out some situations and then I want you to think of like just off the top of your head, the first thing that comes to mind of like the alter ego that you have to be for that situation. Okay, cool. So it's a friend's birthday party at the pub. Who do you become?
Not that other person.
Yeah. Cool. So just have a bit of fun with it and sort of make something up. What about you, Levi?
I don't know. It's a different way of thinking that I've never really thought about before.
Yeah, do you like, okay, cool. Let's what about if you're going down to the bank and you need to get a loan? Like are you shy? Are you timid or what are you sort of thinking about when you go there?
Oh, you gotta dress real tidy. Gotta dress differently.
Yeah. And what
gotta be sincere.
Yeah, pretty. I don't know.
Yep, open and honest and cool. All right, so we'll come back to that one anyway. Cool. So what I want you to do is from this list here, what I want you to think about, and this is the situation. So select the situation that you need to create this alter ego for. And it might be any situation that you can think of that you need to show up as not the person sitting on the couch right now. Okay, cool. So select that situation, and then what you're going to do is pick 5 to 10 traits from this list here. Cool. Can you guys see them?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll sort of go through them and then rattle them off. So adaptable, adventurous, affectionate, agreeable, ambitious, amicable, amiable. So you guys can see them anyway. So I won't read them all out. We'll be here all night. But basically go through this list. Cool. And pick out 5 to 10 traits of that person that has to show up. So the person that shows up in the ring, Levi, what traits do they have? Cool.
Yeah. Got to be confident.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh gosh. Toya.
Maybe powerful.
Yeah, yeah, definitely powerful.
Yep. Resourceful. Yeah.
Independent.
Yep. That's cool.
Ivan.
Swift. How you going with these traits, Carolyn?
Yeah, can read through it. Got a paper here next to me.
Yeah, cool.
What are you doing?
Polished.
And
Hardworking.
very small on the next side. Jeez.
Fiery. Fierce. Flamboyant. Faithful. Enthusiastic. Calm. Careful. Charming. Communicative. Competitive. Complete. Cool. Have you got five words or 5 to 10 words there?
Yeah.
Spirited. Reliable. Vicious. Cool. All right. So for each of those traits, I want you to write out, cool. So for each of those traits, write out how you would show up as that trait in this situation you need. Basically what I mean by this is if you choose powerful and your chosen situation was going into a fight, cool. How would you show up powerful in a fight? Cool. So how do you show up? What does that look like to someone else? What does that feel like to you? What would you sound like to other people? What attitudes do you have about yourself, the situation that you would cause you to be more powerful? And do you have an example of someone that you already know to be powerful? How do they speak and act? Cool.
Oh, right.
Yeah, cool. So the first one is like picking your word and your situation. So for Levi, powerful in fights. Cool. What does that look like to someone else?
Powerful. I don't know. You'd gotta look like you believe in yourself, like not cry.
Yeah, cool.
Powerful. The way you carry yourself.
Yeah. How's your body language look?
Yeah, you'd be straight up, like.
Yep.
Not slouched over or anything.
Yep.
Don't look scared.
Yep.
Cool.
Just like Caitlin.
Just like that.
Yeah, cool. How do you look like? What do you look like to your opponent?
Suppose well, obviously you need to look tough.
Yep.
Like a big monkey.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Those are real good, eh? That's real cool. And cool. What does powerful feel like to you? Like, how does that make you feel?
Confident. Stop it, please. Like I would feel pretty confident if I go into the ring, like knowing that I know what to do. I'd feel powerful and confident.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you're in the ring, and
Yeah.
you're feeling powerful. Like, how does that make you feel outside of being confident?
Feel powerful. Stop it, please. I don't know. I don't know how to answer the question.
Cool. If you were talking, what would you sound like to other people?
I wouldn't be quiet, and I wouldn't be like mumbling like I am now.
So like clear,
Yeah.
clear, strong voice.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Direct.
Direct, yes, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. So like every word sort of is like just straight to the point. You're basically knocking off their head with your words. Cool. Sweet. So, and then what attitudes do you think you have about yourself in this situation? So what sort of like attitude do you carry into the ring that would give you more power inside the ring?
You really need to believe in yourself.
Yep.
Or else you've lost straight away.
Yep.
If you don't believe that you can do it, then you won't.
Yep.
So, yeah, believing in yourself, knowing that all your training is for this one thing.
Yep.
And just knowing that you can win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Knowing you can win. How do you walk into the ring? Bit of swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight song. Fight song. You get a song.
Fight song.
You have to like choose a song that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, and if you walk in with like the perfect song, then it changes everything.
Yeah. Cool. What song would you play?
I've got two
Yep.
favorites that I haven't really. So I've got one. It's I don't remember who it's by. It's on the Spider-Man multiverse movie. It's called Elevate.
Yep.
And another one it's called Pistols by Miss Trouble. It's like a drum and bass kind of one.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Maybe that could be your name, Miss Trouble.
Miss Trouble.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Like that sort of, if that's like your song, it sort of like almost lines it all up.
Yeah, it does.
So, do you think like if you went into the ring as Miss Trouble, do you think you'd feel powerful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make a difference with a different cool name that you know.
Yeah, fucking oats. Yeah. Cool. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe that's going to be your name, eh? So something like that. Like it's something that like you have to go into that character.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have an example of somebody you already perceive as having these traits, or you look at them and you think they're a really powerful person?
There's like the the main female coach at
Yeah.
my gym. There's two. Caitlin's had more fights than Asher, and she's like the nicest person, like
Yeah.
on the street. She works at a kid's store, like everything. She's like the sweetest person ever, but she can really fight. She just like switches into this, like, she's just got something else when she's in the ring. She's just like amazing.
Yeah.
And she'll just switch off again when she's finished. It's amazing.
So she goes in and out of that alter ego way.
Yeah.
Out as soon as she's finished. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. How does she speak? How does she speak, think, and act?
She's a very positive person.
Yeah.
Just all the time. But like going on the ring, you can just tell that she's there to have a good time and enjoy it.
Yeah.
She's not scared. She knows that she's good.
Yeah.
And she's there to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. How does she talk?
There's not much talking beforehand, but like afterwards, like the last fight that I saw her, she was basically like, because at the end of the fight she just won a title, and they asked like, well, how are you feeling, how was that, and she's basically like, I knew I could do it. I like she's like, I told everyone I was going to kick her in the neck, and I did. Like, she's not like, oh, I want to thank my mum and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I want to thank me for being there for me and showing up on the night, like, basically. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank me for showing up.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real cool though. That's awesome, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's real cool. And that's like, she just flips that switch, eh? And is just like, I'm here for me. Let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's real cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Cool. Awesome. Cool. All right. So, how did you go, Carolyn?
Yeah, I sort of did it on the side for my situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So,
Notes.
what we want to do now is we'll go through you a little bit now, but what I want you to do is think about. So, we got basically 3 exercises. That's pretty. Actually, we'll just talk about that. So, does that give you a bit more clarity, Levi, about the person you need to become?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's crazy, eh? Like, and you see all these fighters, like, especially the UFC guys, they're all talk, most of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's their character, you know. In a way, they're doing it to sell a fight. In a way, they're doing it because they know that's their confidence.
Yeah.
But a lot of them probably aren't even like that in real life, eh? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, they're not at home. They're probably like parents or they're business people, and you know, they got to show up different places. So
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. So the next one is, what we're going to do is this is actually about giving birth to your alter ego. So now that you've got a bit of clarity around it, let's actually think about this person being a real person. Cool. And so what you're basically doing is creating and then manifesting this person in your mind so that you can basically step into that person anytime you need to. So what we want to do is basically get yourself nice and relaxed, maybe close your eyes if you have to. And basically what I want you to do, the first thing we're going to do is imagine this character growing up. So basically this character's just been born. So imagine that person that you've just, you know, all those traits that you've just been, and just picture that person being born and then watching them grow up until now. And what do you think shaped those traits? So what sort of things along the way has made that person that way? What do they do different from you? How do they look? How do they speak? What words or phrases do they use? What feelings do they have? And what skills and capabilities do they possess? So basically just create this person that you've just talked about, or those traits, and then just completely make that person up in your head and basically give birth to a person that you've just been thinking about those traits. Cool. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes on that one. just to really like think about who that person is. Write it out if you need to. Sort of, it's like me, eh? Like when I present or when I have to go into like even something like this, or like every day in the gym, I'm actually a really shy person, really nervous. But like as soon as I go into this, I have to flick a switch. And it's real weird, like running these sharing training camps around Australia. Like there's like 30 guys in there, and like they're all farm boys and country boys. And here I am going to go and teach them about bloody, you know, meditation and breath work and how to be healthy when all they do is drink beer and eat pies. It's like, I'm like, these guys are going to think I'm a wanker. And then I'm like, nah, actually, you're really going to help these guys. And then it's just like, you just completely change and you just go with it, and you just become a different person. And it's actually quite cool. Like every time I do it, I'm like, oh, I know what's coming. I'm going to freak out a little bit. But then as soon as you like flip that switch, you're on and you just become that next person. I had to do that with a job, eh? It was because when I came to Australia and stopped sharing, I couldn't get any work anywhere. So I ended up doing like sales in the malls where you're like one of those annoying people that have to like say, hey, come over here and join up to charities and stuff. And I was one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I'm super shy. And then I just like, you got to stop 100 people a day and you got to like, just call out to people. I'm like, oh. And then I was like, at the time I was like, if I don't make this job work, I'm just about homeless. So I had to do it. And it's just sort of like, you just build in confidence. Like you do about 2 or 3 and then you're sort of like, okay, I can do this. And then you just keep going. And yeah, it's quite fun after a while. So I'll stop talking, but yeah, so let's go 2 minutes. Just think about that person. And then Carolyn, you can go first. Basically, I just want you to like describe that person's life. Cool. So just like a brief overview of your alter ego's life. Doesn't have to be super detailed, just sort of like try and make up this person and think about that person.
Don't knock her out. Let her come in.
Cool.
I feel like I'm kind of just writing about myself, but in a different way because I'm not as confident.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Like, well, because this person is inside of you. Like, it's. Yeah. Has anyone heard of David Goggins?
No.
So
No.
if you ever want to like just, you have to read this guy's book. Hey, like his book's called Can't Hurt Me, and so this guy David Goggins, he ended up like running ultra marathons. He had like the world pull-up record and stuff, and he's like basically the toughest man on the planet. And he went through like Navy SEALs and stuff, but growing up, he was like, he just had a real hard life. Like his dad or something was like basically a pimp and a drug dealer and stuff. He just got the bash all the time. And then basically as he was older, he was this big fat dude. And then one day he was taking out cockroaches because that was his job. He was like a janitor or something. And all these cockroaches just poured out. And he's like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. He's like, I'm going to go become a Navy SEAL. And so he went to the like Navy SEAL officers and they just laughed at him, mate, because they're like, mate, you're this big fat black dude. You're definitely not becoming a Navy SEAL. And so they just turned him away. but he keep going back. And then one guy goes, all right, mate, you go away, you lose like 20 kilos, come back and I'll give you a shot. And so basically he went away, he lost all this weight and just trained himself to death. And then he ended up just doing all this like crazy stuff, like he's just a crazy guy. He ended up, he ran an ultra marathon on like, he broke both of his legs and he was like pissing blood. And at the end he like shat himself because he didn't really train for it, but he realized like after about 70 miles, he couldn't go any further, but that was like, he had broken bones in his legs, like shin splints real bad, and he was pissing blood. But at that point, he's like, no, I can actually keep going. And he realized then, like, he was only tapping into sort of 40% of himself, and he's just an animal. But he said, it's really crazy to think about that. You know, this person I am now that you see right now was trapped inside this big fat black guy, you know? And he's like, this person who I am was always in there, but it just took this thing to bring him out. And then he became, you know, this guy that he is now. And so, like, long story short is like, whatever we want is in here, we just have to bring it out. Yeah, so cool. All right, Carolyn, how'd you go?
So I've got talking about this alter ego that sort of is easy, or like just teaching and that sort of stuff. Not just sharing wise. I do some teaching at the university in my off time anyway, and so that person would be very like would love to learn and share the knowledge and stuff, and would be really like him or her or whatever would have done like speaking in front of people all his life, and that sort of stuff would be really easy for him.
Yep.
Her.
Yeah, that's cool. So to become that person, you might need to do a bit more speaking in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Levi, do you want to have a quick go if you can?
Oh, I can have some.
I don't really know. I didn't really write too much, but
That's cool.
so they're just the type of person who like knows how to commit to things, and they've always had support their whole life to be able to do the things that they want to do or need to do.
Yeah.
That's sort of basically all I got. Knows how to train hard.
Yeah, cool. And you are becoming that person more and more, like even like the last sort of, I guess,
No, because you're gonna get some of that.
Did he kick himself out?